Hey everybody, Tony Bocciagalupo here. I just had one of my weekly meetings with the members of my New Work Cities online club, and one of the conversations that came up was around a partner in a new location who was giving the folks managing the original location some trouble. They didn't really figure out all the details of how they were going to do their agreement, and what they ended up with was a situation where the person just not managing it the way that they would have liked. And it led to a conversation that I think is really important, not just for partners, but for members who are giving you trouble, or any stakeholders or anybody involved in your project. And that comes back to the relationship and the communication between you and everybody who is potentially important in your project. When you get into a situation where it's a particular thing, like you've got an agreement or an arrangement, and it's a particular list of things that you're supposed to do, you can really fall into the technicalities of figuring out how to make that work. But ultimately, it's about the relationship and the trust that you have between people. The analogy that I used in our conversation was with roommates, where when you're so many of us have had bad roommate situations where eventually the relationship breaks down and people don't get along, and a lot of times people exit roommate relationships pretty badly, and ultimately that comes down to communication, having the ability to meet and spend some time together and just talk about what's going on. And so one of the things that I recommended, and that I recommend in general with situations like this, is to try not to get too caught up in the technicalities, and to instead get into a situation where people are spending more time together. So if you've got somebody who's potentially a problem or who is giving you trouble, how can you be figuring out a way to spend some time with them and go to them? Go to where they are, go to places that they like to go, figure out what they like to eat or to drink. Are they a coffee person? Are they a beer person? Do they like fish tacos? Whatever it is, figure out kind of what they're into and go to a place where they're able to really feel comfortable, and create a space for the two of you to build a closer relationship. If you can put aside the business stuff for a little while, just get to know each other as people, maybe even offer up a little bit of your own vulnerability about what's going on for you. It really creates a safe place for that person to open up, to trust you, maybe to trust you with a little bit of vulnerability of their own. And that's ultimately going to lay a foundation for you to have a relationship that's going to really head off a lot of the other problems that are going to show up, that that are just going to be manifestations of a lack of communication and trust. So if you've got somebody that you really need to be developing a good relationship with, a healthy working relationship with, and you're concerned that maybe that could be going in a different direction without some care, find out what they're into, spend some time with them, and make it quality time. And do it consistently. Find ways to make the time that you need to build that relationship. And it's going to save you a lot of time down the line, a lot of headaches that would otherwise happen, that aren't going to happen because you spend the time to really get to know the person. So that was one lesson I really took away from my conversation with my group this week, and I hope it's valuable to you as well.